Hello and welcome again to I Hate Jace, I mean Casual Magic, and this time around, Commander 2019, Faceless Menace. So after two fairly, well, I would say the first one was okay at best. Primal Genesis was alright. Merciless Rage, yeah, definitely could be better. Not exactly sure. Oh man, these things are so inconsistent. Yeah, come on. Not too bad. Who uses these, by the way? I usually keep them in the box, but I don't think I ever really set them out for play. I always just kind of had them be too awkward to go, oh yeah, here's this out, and then tap, and I still haven't bought any giant sleeves for them. So, I just know there's a little strip here, but there's no time. Quickly, there's no time. So, I kind of remember Volroth being one that someone had an article at some point about trying to make a card. At the beginning of your combat, on your turn, put a -1/-1 counter on up to one target creature. Until your next turn, Volroth, the Shape Stealer, becomes a copy of target creature with a counter on it, except it's a 7/5 and it has this ability. And then because that thing just says copy of target creature with a counter on it, that's anything. That's a +1/+1 counter. That's oh man, that's a -1/-1 counter. That's I'm trying to remember the, oh my god, there was one from Ikoria. It was the Luminous Broodmoth that you'd put on like a flying counter on it. And it's like the creature, if it had died and it didn't have flighting, then it would come back to the battlefield with a flying counter on it. In that case, you would put the flying counter on it. Congratulations, that thing has a counter, and then Volroth here can become a copy of that creature. So it's definitely got some good use in there as a commander. Now, is it necessarily expensive? No. If I go back to the list here, Volroth is currently $1. So if you find it in a, I guess in a bin somewhere, or a kind of a book for sale of just your rares at a store, is it worth $1? Sure. Get it, you'll have some fun. Death Mist Raptor, I remember getting these in bulk bins. I remember just like after cons when cycled out, then those things just popped up so often. I'm like, that's a fun card. I'm gonna get that. All right, there we go. Seaborn Muse. Remember this? Remember how this used to be super expensive and was like 25 bucks at one point? And I remember getting this thing in Japan for like 500 yen on sale. It's like, wait a minute. Not that many people play Commander EDH in Japan. Here's a super cheap card. Oh my god, I'm going to get it. And of course, I got it. I played with it for a couple of years, and now it's just been reprinted. I wouldn't say to oblivion, but it's been reprinted multiple times. And, you know, hey, that's the way the games goes. But it has come back in value. It's now up to $10.62. So it's not necessarily the price of the entire box, but it helps kind of get you there. And it is a useful card. Other than that, nope. There's really not anything super value in here. There's a lot of stuff I've seen as, I wouldn't necessarily say bulk, but very useful stuff that you can put in other decks. I mean, as far as land goes, Llanowar Waste, is that used in other decks of mine? Yes. Exotic Orchard, is that used in other decks of mine? Yes. Stronic Resonator, have I used that before? Yes. Biomass Mutation, have I used that before? Yes. Template Discovery, yes. Overwhelming Stampede, yes. So, I mean, there's a lot of reprints in here. And if you don't happen to have these cards, then if this is something that you can find and it's fairly cheap, then go ahead and get it, because there's a lot of useful cards in here, I will say. That maybe the deck itself doesn't necessarily play that well competitively against other decks. If you're trying to play against the other 2019 sets, sure. But there's a lot of decent cards in here that I previously owned and I've used in other decks. So for that purpose, I would recommend this. As far as it, being competitive, no, not so much. There's really not much in there that just absolutely breaks the game. But value-wise, this, I believe, is, the second most valuable one out of 2019. So it's okay if you can find it. This is probably the first one I would say go out and find and pick up, just because of the sheer number of reprints in here. Which, again, I know people like the professor, constantly say, we need reprints, reprints, reprints. And then this is a situation that they're like, okay, we'll give you a ton of reprints. It's like, oh no, the value's completely crashed. Now it's not even worth it to buy the Faceless Menace set. But it's all right. If you don't have these cards, I recommend it. So, I've got one left. Oh boy. Let's see how that goes. Could there be hope for this set yet? Is it possible? Is 2019 just a complete dumpster fire for Commander, or is there at least one good card? We'll find out next week. And until then, good luck.